Oh, that's amazing. I love it. Now, I know you said like the different days and time frames for the scheduling, but what if I had a pet that had to go emergency type of scenario? Is there, obviously there can't be a wait time for that. So is there a way that we would call or contact and you'd say bring them in right away?
Right. Well, how that actually works is we're not set up as an emergency hospital or as an emergency veterinary clinic, but there are several emergency hospital, veterinary hospitals and veterinary clinics near us here in Bradenton. So when we get that phone call, we immediately refer people out to other local emergency veterinary services because that's a whole different type of business in treating emergencies. I will tell you this, that on occasion, we will have someone who will, want to walk to our front door with a dog that they just saw got hit by a car in the road. And any veterinary hospital, including the Humane Society of Manatee County Veterinary Clinic, will stabilize that animal and then be able to get that animal transferred to an emergency hospital to be able to continue its care. But we would stabilize the animal and make it so that it wasn't in pain, and then it would be able to be transported to a hospital that specializes in emergency treatment.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. Now, I know you mentioned the COVID-19 policies and procedures that are currently in place, but how long do you think they're going to remain in place if you had to guesstimate?
Well, that's a great question that everybody asks. I can tell you this, that I don't foresee any of our current COVID policies and protocols going away before June of 2021. And I will tell you this, that this has been a learning experience for everybody, and ourselves included, in all the different changes of direction that come from the CDC and the Florida State Department of Health, and our own learnings. So we are constantly, and when I say we, myself and my medical team, are constantly reevaluating our protocols and procedures, both external and internal for staff, and we've changed numerous times. But I don't see the current policies changing until some point after June of this coming year, at a minimum.
Okay. So then let me.
And we
go
will
ahead.
we will keep the option. I'm sorry, Joe. We will keep the option for curbside check-in available to people, even if we change it in June. We would still leave the option, because the one thing about COVID-19, there are so many different attitudes of so many different people for different reasons as to what they consider to be safe and what they don't consider to be safe. So we will keep the curbside through the end of 2021. That option will be available. If someone chooses not to come inside the building, we'll make curbside available to those people.
Awesome. That's great to know. So what are the trends in the animal welfare that you're seeing in the animal welfare community?
Okay, that's a great question that we get asked quite a bit, especially following what we just came through. People originally thought that because of economics and unemployment, that there would be a huge increase of owner surrenders in shelters throughout the country. I will tell you that in Southwest Florida, that's not the case. There are people who unfortunately have lost their homes due to finances and then had to surrender animals, but the number has definitely not spiked. And the reason it has not spiked in particular in Southwest Florida, Sarasota, and Manatee County is there are so many different groups that are offering help to keep animals in their homes and with their families, that there is just a huge support network here. And the other really positive thing for the animals in our community is that the majority of the animal welfare organizations here all work together and collaborate. There's not a competitive atmosphere that exists in a lot of parts of the country when it comes to animal welfare organizations. Here, the organizations over the last several years have really decided to come together, pull together, and work together on behalf of the animals in the community. And it's a great place to be an animal.
Awesome. So let me ask you this as like a bonus question type of scenario. I've seen a lot of people, just like you said, they're working at home now. They're adopting pets and all this other stuff. I've very found a lot of people love the animals and all this other stuff. I found very few people that are like, maybe I made a mistake. Have you ever got that
Hmm.
since the COVID-19?
It's kind of amazing because people really did put a lot of thought into bringing an animal into their home. It's more of a family decision anymore rather than, like back in the 1950s, dad would stop on his way home on Friday and buy a puppy for the kids without telling anybody and then take it home and surprise them with a puppy. Those types of decisions don't really happen anymore. It really is a lot of times a family decision, and people decide that the time is right to bring an animal into their home. And quite honestly, I will tell you this, that animals have had a huge positive impact on the mental health of the humans in our community throughout this COVID-19 pandemic. People with animals are much more stress free in their homes and in their lives. And it's kind of an interesting phenomena that animals have this extremely positive effect on people's mental state.
Awesome. So, what can we do as a whole with my listeners and everything like that as people help to do to support the Humane Society of Manatee County?
Well, I appreciate you asking that. And what I always tell people, there's a multitude of different ways to help. It's not always just, make a monetary donation. You can go on our Facebook page. You can, share some of our posts with your circle of friends and your Facebook network. You can do a donation drive. You can offer to volunteer. You can talk, find out more about us and let people know that we're here on, neighborhood network groups, and just, talk and find, if you're not near us, find an animal welfare organization near you that you think is deserving of your support and do a donation drive for that particular group. There are just so many different ways to help animal welfare organizations. And as a volunteer, it's extremely rewarding.
That's great. I love it. I love everything that you do. So we're at the point in the time where I'd like to give my guests of the show the opportunity to give the information of how my listeners can get in touch with you. So you can give email, phone number, website, Facebook, whatever you want to do.
Okay. Thank you very much, Joe, and thanks for this opportunity. We really appreciate it. Having an opportunity to tell people who we are and what we do is extremely important to us. So our website, again, is www.humanemanatee.org. We also have a Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Humane Society of Manatee County. Our phone number is 941-747-8808. With any questions, you can simply call that number as well. And my email is rick@Humane Society Manatee.org. So again, that's rick@humanesocietymanatee.org. You have any questions, feel free to email me and you will amazingly get a response.
Well, that is wonderful, Rick. I appreciate all this information, but I know we have one little bonus question I might want to ask you. Obviously, with COVID-19 still going on and whatnot, do you foresee any events or anything that the Humane Society of Manatee County might have in the future?
Actually, yes, and thank you for asking. So each and every year we have an event which is normally a dinner. It's called Because of You. And because of you, we invite our donors and supporters to a nice lunch. We do a presentation, and we thank everybody for their support. This year, that's going to look a little bit different. What we're going to do is we're going to set up a little outdoor barbecue here in our parking lot at our veterinary clinic for those who feel comfortable coming into a socially distanced outdoor luncheon event. We'll also have a drive-through option where people can drive through, stay in their car, pick up a barbecue box lunch, and be on their way. And we'll also tie in a virtual, so we'll have that and online if people want to check in that way. We also do a major dog walk called Paws in Motion each and every March. And this year we're going to be doing that in a socially distanced manner, and we're working on the details of that right now. So again, because so many different people have so many different ideas of what is safe to do and not safe to do, we're going to have a bunch of different options for people to choose based on what they feel is safe for them.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Rick, for being on Socially Joe. I would love to have you back on again and learn more about the Humane Society of Manatee County.
Well, Joe, I'm going to tell you this. As a member of the nonprofit community here in Manatee and Sarasota County, we appreciate you supporting the nonprofits as you do each and every time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and you have a great day.